My name is Tan Kin Lian. I was formerly the chief executive of a large insurance company in Singapore, but since 2008, about 8 years ago, I set up a company under my name, and one of the key uh, services of this company is to develop computer software. Now, I have a special expertise in database analysis and processing, and I want to explain to you this expertise. I use the MySQL database, and this is called the Workbench. The Workbench allows me to access the MySQL database and to do a lot of things. Now I can access it as an administrator that gives me a lot of rights, or as a developer. Let me access this as a developer. Okay, we now have the screen, the Workbench, where if you take a look at the left here, you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You see maybe about 30 to 40 what is called schema. Now a schema is a database, and every schema is actually a separate database application or system. Now if I have 30 or 40, it means me and my staff have experience in developing 30 or 40 systems, and we have learned from this development some very important tools, and this is where my expertise lie. I shall just show you one schema which is called BSG. I'm going to choose this. Now BSG means Business Simulation Game, and I will shortly show you what the game is like, but let me introduce you to the database, the schema. Now here you have got many tables by the name field spec, field value, game D, industry, and so on. Now every database will have many tables, and every table, let me show you the game table. Now these are all the records in the table, and basically every time a game is created, we got the name of the game, when it started, when it closed, and it controls the game. Alright, now you can see we have got so many tables, and some tables are really very big. For example, in every game, you will have in the result table possibly about for every game possibly about 300-400 records, or what is called rows. Alright, so now you can see therefore that the database contains many tables, and many tables contain many rows or records, and every row you can see has got many columns, or sometimes it's called fields, so many columns. Alright, now most people use a database to store information, and they do their processing in their front-end code. But I have a special expertise. I do of my processing in what is called store procedures. You can see I've got in this application I have about something like more than 30 store procedures, and every store procedure will do a set of calculations required for this game. Now the important point is I wrote the store procedures, and I'm able to test the game completely with the store procedure just by on the workbench. For example, if I want to see what are all the results for a particular game, I could say select all from result where ID game equals to, let's say I have game number 6, and then the order and product equals to number 1. That's it. If I were to do this, yes, I will see the results for different players, what were their prices, capacity, advertising, demand, sale, etc. So you can see therefore that it's possible for me to call for example, I can call to run the compute result. So I will just call compute result for game number 914. I think that's it. Okay, I have to give more than one parameter. Yes, I have to give the round for round number 5. Okay, so alright, he has done all the calculation, so I can call view result for game 914. I don't know whether I need to give some parameter. I think it's called view game. And there you are, the results. How about 910? Let me choose another game, game number 20. There you are. Yes, it has got the results for game number 20 for round number 5. Now you see, I'm now just showing you that it is possible for me to run the store procedure, to run and then to view the results and to do the checking, and all these are done within the database. It means it's very easy for me to develop a system, to test it, to generate data, to run it, and to see the results, to spot the error and to clean it up. Even I can even decide to change the system, for example, to show different kinds of results or to compute different things. All of these are done in the database. Now I like to mention this because most of the developers I know do the processing in the front end, and they use a database for storage. And for them to develop a complex game, it can take them several months. For me, I can take it in a small fraction of that time. Alright, so now this is the concept of the database, the store procedures. One of the other important feature I use a lot is called events. I'm going to show you that for this game there are 2 events. One of them is running every 1 hour automatically, and this function is to automatically create a new game so that anyone coming to the website will see a game available for them to play. Now another function is every 15 seconds it will check if any of the round has ended. Now remember, the game has got many rounds, and every round has got a time interval, and when the time interval is up, the system should automatically do some calculation, and this event is running every 15 seconds to see which game the interval has expired, and it's possible at any point of time to have several games that are active, and these events will call a store procedure to close all those games where the round has expired. Now I use a lot of these events. For example, at midnight, you may want to do calculate some totals. You may want to run certain midnight processing, daily processing, and all these are controlled via the events. Okay, now I've just only shown you for one database, one schema, and you can see it's quite complex. And you can see I've got so many schemas, so many systems. Of course, some of them are operational, some of them are developed and then abandoned. But the idea is it doesn't matter whether it's abandoned or not. The experience is very wonderful for passing on to new applications. But let me just quickly introduce you to some of these applications. Now this AAJI is the acronym for the Life Insurance Association of Indonesia, and basically what we have are, it keeps statistics of the insurance companies in Indonesia, and the statistics are of different insurance companies and how much business they do. The next one would be, let's say, accident. Now this is a database that I use to put in all accidents reported in a certain country, and to identify the claims submitted on all these accidents, which of these claims are likely to be inflated. For example, if car A and car B knock into each other and the damage is only 20%, the insurance company may find a claim for car B severely damaged, 70% damage, and then that means the workshop has aggravated the damages. This application will identify, going through a few 100,000 claims, or rather maybe a few hundred claims every day, submitted every day, which of the claims are okay and which of the claims are aggravated. Of course, the percentage aggravated could be about 5 to 10%, and this application will identify these claims so that the insurance company can be more alert. This AGM is for a secretarial company to manage the annual general meeting for the companies that they look after. There's a application called Beacon. This is very interesting. I'm experimenting with the Apple Beacon technology to use it to locate supermarket trolleys that have been abandoned. That means customers never bring them back to the supermarket. This is a business planning software, business simulation games. I've already explained, and wow, there are so many applications that I developed, but some of which have been live, and they help to develop my expertise in database. Okay, now I shall come and show you what the business simulation game is like. Now this is the business simulation game, and There's a video guide that you can click to explain to you how you play the game. Alright, we won't go through that. And then you are going to join the game. This is the game that is available for you to join. Remember I told you there's the auto game that is being created every hour. This is created by that auto game event. Of course, I can create a new game by specifying the scenario and the time interval, and I create this game, and the game is now over here, number 166. Now when I say create the game, what happened is the front end will call a store procedure, and the store procedure is called new game number 2. And what it does is it's a very short store procedure. It will pass the scenario that you want and the time interval, and you will call another store procedure passing all these parameters, so that the store procedure, which is called new game, will then go through, after receiving all these parameters, it will go through the setup for the game, because the game has got certain number of players, certain number of rounds, and the scenario. It will set up all of the the game parameter, and then it will start round 0. Yes, it will start round 0, and this is what happens. Okay, so the game has been created, and if I want to join this game, yes, I want to join. It asks me to select player number, which player. I'm selecting player number 1. Ask me for my name and the email. So I've signed in, and there you are. I've joined the game, which is now at round 1 with all these results. Now all these results are what I showed you just now under the view game. Where are you, view game? Yes, under the view game, and the result is for game 166. So if I say view game 166, the store procedure will return all of these figures, which is what you see here. There's the all, and there's the motto, and these are in this is the all, and this is the motto. The figures are here. Now what this means is all the complex calculations are done in the store procedure, and the front end just call the view game, get the answers and display here. And you can see there are so many other functions, that the front end, for example, the player number, this player called Tan, he's going to submit his input for next year. These are the input, and when he submit the input, the procedure that will be called is called I think it's called one of these here, input, and the inputs will say, I know the name of the game, I know the round, the product is number 1, the player is number 1. These are what you submitted, and it goes in and update the database and at the end of the round, this will be used to calculate the results. Okay, so wow, I think I've got here history. Okay, there's nothing much to see here. All right. Okay. Now, basically, let me summarize. My expertise is in database, creating database, processing database, analyzing the results, and I do it using the MySQL database and using store procedures. Now, MySQL is a wonderful database software, and it's available free. You don't have to pay any license fee. And with this software, I can create, you can see, easily 30 to 40 schemas. And by looking at the BSG, business simulation game, you can see it can be very complex, but I'm able to develop it very fast. And there are functions that are automated. Now, let me briefly describe one application. I forgot the name of the application. I think it's called Parts. Yes, it's called Part. Let me explain what this part is. Yeah, this is the application. Now, there's a company that provides a platform to link insurance companies to workshops in a certain country, and this platform is running very successfully. So you will have every day maybe a few thousand cars being repaired, and all over the country. And for every car you have got maybe 10 to 20 parts that have to be purchased, giving the part number, the price, and so on. Now, after running for several years, the database is huge with a lot of parts prices. Now, what is interesting is that in motor car repair, the insurance company don't know the price of each part. So they have to spend time to check the price and to approve payment based upon the price. So I approached this platform owner and said, why don't we analyze based upon all the parts that you have paid over the past year. We analyze what is the average price for every part. Now remember, in one motor car you may easily have 1,000 parts, and then you got several thousand models of car. So you do have got a lot of parts and from a lot of models. But what's also interesting is that the frequently used parts would be a smaller subset of the total. So we work together. I use my SQL knowledge to analyze what is the average price for each part. So an insurance company, before they make payment, they can enter all the parts number, and they are told, based upon this database past transactions, the price, the average price should be for each part should be of a certain amount. Now they can use this average price to then compare with the price submitted by the workshop to know whether it is okay, it is too high, or it is lower than average. So that was the purpose, and my SQL expertise allows me to analyze and give the average price for every part. Of course, I also need to clean up the data to ignore those prices that are way out due to data error. So finally, the list of parts prices, I think is available in could be over here. Yes, this is for that model. This is for the ID of the part. The actual part number is available somewhere. the average price, the low, the high, the number of transactions. I don't know if I can see this one over here. No, not this. Okay, I have missed this for a while. Never mind. But it just goes to show that by analyzing the database, the transactions, you can get very useful information. Now there is a byproduct, totally unexpected. Apart from telling the user what the price should be, I produce another report to tell each insurance company of all the claims you have submitted, that you have processed from each workshop. What is the amount they charge? What should be the average amount based upon the average price? And I create an index. So if the workshop has an index higher than 1.0, it means for all the claims submitted during the past year, they are overcharging compared to the average. And of course, there are workshops that have index below 1.0, so they are charging lower than average. That means the insurance company will quickly be able to identify who are the workshops that overcharge, who are the workshops that undercharge. I also analyze this according to the claim assessor, the one who approved the claim. I calculate an index and see for each assessor whether it's above 1.0 or below 1.0. Now the results are of course not conclusive. If the workshop has an index above 1.0, there could be some valid reasons why they are charging above average, but it's worthwhile for the insurance company to look at all the claims that they have submitted, and then to see whether the overcharging is justified or not. And the same process can be done for the assessor. If the index is above 1.0, maybe way above 1.1, let's say, they can view the detailed claims, go down to the parts, and just check that the reasons are valid. Now with this kind of information, the insurance company will be able to manage their claim better. So I hope that this video gives you the idea about what you can do with data, and also give you the idea that I'm able to develop platforms and software using this special technology, which means the system can be made available more quickly. It can be made very flexible to accommodate changes. And if you are interested, do send an email to me, and you can reach me with this email address. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.